I'm here in downtown Fort Worth today after earlier today going out to Weatherford, Texas to play a gig at Northside Remedy. And I'm excited to check out downtown Fort Worth really for my first time walking around and truly checking it out. The city itself of Fort Worth originated as an army outpost way back in 1849 because of the proximity of the Trinity River, which goes along Fort Worth. And this place was the center of cattle trade, and it was also a stop along the Chisholm Trail. So a lot of dealings happening in the cattle industry, and the Chisholm Trail, of course, was a huge migration of cattle across Texas and beyond Texas throughout the United States. And today, Fort Worth is the 13th largest city by population, with almost 1 million people here, although it certainly doesn't feel like it's that large of a city. It has a bit more smaller town vibes, and it feels comfortable and more relaxing than some other places around Texas. The downtown area of Fort Worth is geared more towards business, and you can find some great restaurants and some great bars, although it's not as lively as some of the other areas of Fort Worth, and there's not as much going on here outside of the weekends. But I had a good time taking this moment in this evening to walk around and truly see what downtown was about, to see those red brick lined streets and those pretty big streets and sidewalks. It felt pretty walkable to me and enjoyable just to look around and see that architecture that they had around here. They call it rustic architecture. They call it the Art Deco style. So the footage I started off with in this video was starting out around Sundance Square, which is a big square and gathering place that has a lot of retail and restaurants. It's thought of as the heart of downtown. So I walked south from the Sundance Square area, and I enjoyed looking up at all the big buildings that they have around here and the architecture. And ultimately, I did find the JFK Memorial. And I didn't know about this, but JFK, of course, was assassinated in Dallas, but he spent the previous day in Fort Worth, where he gave a very inspiring speech. He stayed at the night at a hotel here, and they have a statue to commemorate him and a whole description and images along the wall where on his speech he described that there are no faint hearts in Fort Worth. The convention center was right nearby, and the convention center is a big draw into downtown Fort Worth. And then just south of the convention center are the Fort Worth Water Gardens. And so I enjoyed finally seeing these. And really, when you think of all these things that you can see on this walk together, it's a nice collection of things that you can see and entertain yourself with going around Fort Worth. Then returning back up north from the Water Gardens, I did find some more live music playing at this place called Whiskey and Rye, where they made me a good old-fashioned there, and I enjoyed the piano music of Steve Barcus. And speaking of the live music around the downtown Fort Worth area, I can go back to where I started on this walk and list out some of these places. The first one is the Flying Saucer Draught Emporium. Sundance Square, which I already passed through, they were having live jazz tonight with Gregory Newman Jazz Quartet, and they have music every weekend going from 7 to 10 there. And just off of Sundance Square, down a little alley, is an entrance to Scat Jazz Lounge. It's more of a fancier and ticketed kind of place, so prepare in advance. And there are two popular spots that are right next to each other. The first is the Library Bar, and I know they've got live music there. The other one is Pete's Dueling Piano Bar, and I'm sure it gets real exciting when all the folks get into the songs that they're playing with their piano. And there's also one other notable spot called Branch and Bird, which is into the entrance of a building and then up the elevator, so you can get really nice views of the city from up there, some nice hard drinks and cocktails, and they do feature live music there too. But taking a step back into earlier into the day when I went into the little town of Weatherford, about 30 minutes west of Fort Worth, to play my gig at Northside Remedy. Growing up, my dad worked for Vlasic Pickles. And so when we were kids, we always had a jar of pickles in the fridge. And we, as kids, we would eat the pickles and we would be like, helping Dad keep his job. Eating the pickles and helping Dad keep his job. That's right. My dad actually built the house that I grew up in. And my mom spent my childhood complaining that he never put the toilet paper holder up. So that's a baggage that I carry with me. You build her a townhouse that you'll complain about the work that you didn't do. Yeah, growing up, my dad used to always say, "There's no singing at the dinner table." He'd say, "Dave, we don't sing at the dinner table." I left all my dad jokes for when John came in because he's my dad's best friend, and it means a lot. John knew me when I was very small and such, and I guess y'all are visiting Fort Worth for the week, so it's nice to be able to catch up and all. We have a moment. So now I go. So yeah. No singing at the dinner table, Dave. Now I go all around Texas singing to people at their dinner table.
Well, hey, Dave, now he'll say, sing us a song at the dinner table.
Yeah, that's right.
Daddy drove a forklift at the Lassie pickle plant. Cucumbers in a pool of spice when he met my mama's dad. Well, he pulled up in that pickup truck with peppers from the pepper tree, but he didn't see the pickup truck. He only saw that girl in the bucket seat. So he found a plot of land, 5 acres by the creek. He built that house with his own hands. He painted the walls, poured concrete. Got a dog from the neighbor farm where she would wriggle on the floor. We got a cat when it stumbled in and knocked on our back door. But these folks say it won't last forever. I think about it often. On a Sunday lounging around the house, I pick up my phone and I call them. Hear their voice on the other line. We shared so many years together. Tell me how you been, Dad. Hey, tell me, Dad, how's the weather?
So thank you to the familiar names and faces who came out to see me play, and thanks to Northside Remedy for having me. I am posting all about my experiences touring around Texas, and I'm showing the Texas music scene on my YouTube channel, so be sure to check out the hundreds of videos I've got on my channel about that. Hit that subscribe and the bell button to stay tuned on my posts here. Let me know in the comments what else I should be checking out, and thank you for your support.